Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This one is something a little bit different today. We are going to do a playthrough and a first look at new VR game Demeter. This was provided to us by the game's publishers at Novelab, so thank you very much for that. But as usual, my thoughts will be completely unbiased on this one. So this kind of came onto my radar in the last couple of weeks, with it being a mixed reality game. So you can see there is the living room in the house, and the game's kind of taking place inside that. So excuse me for any kind of furniture that's lying about. There is a kitchen table in the living room. It's a long story, but let's concentrate on the game for now. So as you can see, the game opens up there, your characters crash landing from space, and they crash land rather, in your living room. And then the game takes place on different parts of your furniture. So in setting up, I'm playing this on the MetaQuest 3, and in setting that up, you obviously do your room boundaries and everything. You can see the boundaries coming up there, but you can set different parts of furniture, and then the game kind of places characters on those different bits of furniture.
I hope you can hear me.
The first kind of issue I had with this was, and I'd heard others saying this as well, it does kind of spawn some of the action, like this scene, kind of outside of your play area. And there's no way to kind of spin that world around just on its axis, so the character is looking as if they're looking at me, but they're kind of looking completely the opposite direction and having a conversation with me. It's nothing major, but it was a little bit strange. And here I am just getting used to the controls, doing a little bit of jumping around. And then, as you can see, to transition, you kind of transition between different diorama levels. And this one has transported all the way over here to that kitchen table that was in the middle of the room that I told you about. And here's where the game really opened up and became really cool for me, because I can walk around this table in the center of the room. It was really fun. So if you're playing this, you're going to want to have a good bit of room around. I think they advise 2 meters by 2 meters. This room's a lot bigger than that, so the bigger the space, the better. And I would advise having something like a table or an area that's clear in the center of the room so that you can walk around these dioramas. And the idea here is you're just basically platforming in this little 3D space. And here's a neat little thing in the game. I'd pressed this by accident when I was playing and kind of didn't really know what was going on, but I'll explain it to you now. You can open up portals, and then you walk through them and you transport from that mixed reality world into, as you've seen there, a full VR world. And at that point, you're getting the actual character in the center there. You're getting her first person view, so you can see what's going on around you. So that's a really kind of helpful thing to have in the game. And it kind of negates that problem that I was saying about before, being able to swirl the world around. It would be nice to have that as an option. And as you can see, another mode there that I'm playing with, although I couldn't find a way to kind of swing it on a 360-degree axis, there is an option to press your Y button on your left controller, and then you can move the entire thing. So when I did have some of these kind of diorama play areas kind of spawn outside of my actual play area that I'd gated off, I was able to just grab them and pull them, and I think you'll see later on in the video where I do something like that as well. And there you have a nice little death animation. I wasn't entirely sure where to jump. This play session, you can probably see by the length of it, it's just playing through the very start of the game. I have gone slightly further than I show here in this video. And it's much of the same later on, but I haven't completed the game yet. This is just a kind of first look. But as you can see, it's kind of basic platforming. to and from different sections. You've obviously got these like red plant type things that are doing damage to your character. So it's just about timing your jumps and getting to the right area without getting hit. As well as the basic kind of jump mechanic, you've got a striking action. So you can strike out, I think I'm about to do it now, yep, and clear different paths or beat enemies along the way. And yeah, look, you can get down really close. This is the cool thing about mixed reality and about VR just in general. This kind of reminds me of, I've titled the video, Is This the Next Moss? And yeah, this reminds me a lot of Moss. You're looking down into this kind of 3D world and space, but the difference is obviously this is happening in your own world. And there is part of me that really actually likes that. It does take away a bit of the atmosphere of the actual game, not having the full world around you. And here's one of the moments actually that I was saying about earlier where it kind of transported that little play area outside of the play area that I had set. So you're able to grab it with your Y button, drag it. So I dragged it down and I've set it on the chair there, and then I can get down and look at it kind of comfortably or more comfortably. Having it within your real world, it does take away a bit of the atmosphere, so you're not quite fully surrounded as such the way you would be in a normal VR game. But the great thing about it is it takes away other aspects of VR that some people find problematic, where you're kind of locked out of the real world around you. It's sometimes awkward to play when there's other people around or other people in your house. This kind of mixed reality style of thing keeps that from happening, so it does make the game a bit more accessible in that way. As you can see here, I'm struggling just to get this in the right place for where I want it. As I told you with that last one, I had it in the center and I really liked being able to walk around, so I tried to get this in the same place. So again, kind of basic platforming, some Uncharted style wall climbing here that Nathan Drake would be proud of.
Excellent.
And I think in terms of sound as well, here you can hear the sounds going on. I think the main character voice work was relatively good. It's a bit kind of cheesy and on the nose, but done quite well. And there's little atmospheric sounds and sound effects that play as you're going about the world. Although I've compared this game to Moss in the kind of style of the levels here with the dioramas, I do think there's a little bit more kind of platforming going on here, and it did make me think I would love to see something like a Nintendo kind of game in this style where it's in your real world and you can see them kind of platforming around your world, Mario characters or the like.
This is a nightmare. I should wake up eventually.
And as I said, the goal is to get to these little transporters and then they kind of fire you off to a different area. Now, this is one of my favorite bits from the footage that we're going to see here. The scale, it's kind of hard when I'm just showing you this on the flat footage, but in the actual headset itself, the scale of this is wonderful. It's fantastic. It goes right from floor nearly up to the ceiling.
If I don't start moving real
I'm a
soon,
pretty tall
it will
person
sacrifice
myself,
my
and it was actually above my head, so it was really cool having that scale there, and seeing how big and expansive it was, and taking that chance without having to bend over and getting in nice and close there on the character model just to have a look. It's pretty detailed actually. When they're talking, there's not much kind of movement of the mouth and stuff, but for a VR game, for this mixed reality, it gets the job done.
I wonder, why are you actually helping me, pilot?
The character does, when I said it was a bit on the nose or a bit cheesy, that's kind of what I meant. The character does kind of address you quite a lot, and I found those bits slightly cheesy and just a bit awkward. You know, why are you helping me? It's just a bit, it was a bit strange. A bit more of a complex um, platforming section here. I think there's a couple of deaths in here from me getting my depth perception incorrect.
No.
So yeah, this game is available now on the MetaQuest 3. I believe it's available on MetaQuest 2 as well. I'm not sure how well that would perform. The pass-through mode isn't obviously as good on that headset, but if it is something you're interested in and that's the only headset you have available, it is there, and down the line, if you're thinking of upgrading to the Quest 3, you'll still have this in your library.
Well, we should get going.
And I believe this is priced at a pretty reasonable $11.99. As I said, I haven't actually beaten the experience yet. Oh, here's the couple of deaths that I have now. But as I was saying, I haven't actually beaten the experience yet, but from what I played, it was definitely interesting enough to warrant a playthrough. And I just looked up how long to beat, and the game is relatively new, so it hasn't been out very long. I don't see anyone else that has logged a time for this as of yet. But I imagine it's probably not a super long experience. As I say, I think it's priced around $11.99, so it's on the cheaper side. And as with VR games, a lot of them, obviously, as you know, are kind of shorter experiences. But if you're interested in mixed reality, I think the thing that really got me attracted to this was the fact that it was like, it looked like a platformer. As I said, I've always wanted a Nintendo platformer in kind of VR, or this mixed reality, kind of put an extra little spin on things as well. And if you've been interested in that, like myself, this is definitely one to check out and have a look at. Yes, it may not be the most beautiful game. I'm assuming it's relatively short. And from what I played so far, I mean, it's pretty kind of simplistic in terms of its actual gameplay mechanics. But it's having that world in your own living room that is the selling feature here. And it, as I said, this actual level, or part of the level here, where it has the big kind of bit in the middle of your room,
Oh, you're
that
really
was one of the most impressive bits for me so far, that kind of scale of things. This little creature, I feel really bad about. I'm gonna actually end the video on this. Now, you guys cannot be upset with me. I was trying to pet it. Turns out there is not a pet button for whatever that creature is, and the character was pretty pissed that I done that, to be honest.
Look here, pilot.
So yeah, as I say, I'm going to end the video there. This has been just a quick look. I really appreciate anyone that stuck around and watched this one. Let me know what your feelings and thoughts are on this game, or if you've picked it up already. Certainly let me know. Again, thank you very much to Novelab for the copy of the game and the review code. Just to have a bit of a look at this one. It's a really interesting title. I think it's fairly priced from what I've played and seen so far.
We'll just talk about
And yeah, that'll do us for now. I'll see all you guys in the next one. Goodbye.